took a play out of Trump's playbook, but hilarious because it's true. This is incredible. I love the way that media is going, guys, because when I was growing up and when I first moved to America, as I was just getting exposed to the way that American media worked, especially mainstream media, I kind of started to realize like this is not efficient, not effective. Everything from the political system to the way that media is done does not help people get to the truth. And so the reason I like Vivek the most is because number one, he's not afraid to go on all these different podcasts and really give a long form discussion. But more importantly, he ain't afraid to call out everybody. So whether he wins or not, he's at least exposing all the right issues that I think are very, very important. So GOP debates yesterday, no market movement at all. Just to show everybody where we're at, especially for my NAS100 folks, I'm going to give you guys a quick treat here. We talked about the consolidations before. So here is the low of that consolidation, and here is the high. We've already broken above, and we're retesting the highs of yesterday's New York. I'll be honest, I want to short it. However, I believe that we've already had a rejection there. This massive rejection, I think that may or may not have been the push that I was looking for. All right, so right now we're coming back up for a second test. Here's the deal. I gotta clean this up as much as possible. If we close above these highs, the next move will be a pullback inside the range, back to about 15,300 to the lows of the day, and then a continuation. If the market fails to break above these highs, I actually want to short this thing because we're still at the weekly high of the previous New York session from from Tuesday, yesterday's New York session highs, and then ultimately this is today's highs. So we're back up at the weekly highs, and if we continue to reject, there's a potential for us to push back down. For my more advanced folks, this is the discount, the premium, that's support, and that's resistance. This whole thing is neutrality. So because we're sitting right next to the premium zone, we're either going to wait for a full break above and then correction, or some kind of rejection. Okay, well, we just had a 30-minute closure above that zone. So you guys can see the solid body of the candle closing above. That indicates that buyers have full control. That does not mean that the market is going to move in a straight line. It just shows that buyers were willing to bid the market higher than they were previously. So they're willing to buy the market at a higher price than previously they were willing to. And so that doesn't mean it's just going to move in a straight line. This is probably where the correction is going to come. 10 a.m. Oh, I'm really trying hard here not to take this short, but this might be the best move. Whole thing is that we're in a bullish trend. And so trading in the direction of the trend, that's the way to go. So right now, even though we have this daily range, or I would say like a 1 hour, 4 hour range, we have Tuesday, Wednesday, and then today's price action. We're at the highs. So this would make sense for a counter trend trade. Bit riskier than trading the direction of the trend. But this thing makes a lot of sense here. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. Oh, should have taken that short. But what I'm going to do is wait for this thing to wick back up just slight, and then I'm going to take the re-entry. I want this thing to just retrace back up ever so slightly, and then I'm going to take a re-entry. The reason I wouldn't chase the market now is look at the difference in risk and reward. So if I took this thing to the bottom of the consolidation lows from yesterday, 2.3 to 1 risk to reward. If I chase the market and I entered at the current price, it's going to be a 1-to-1 risk and reward. And when it finally corrects, I'm going to be in drawdown. That's why I don't chase the markets. You got to wait for this thing to come back to a favorable price entry. Probably right here. 1.6 to 1. Not the best, but still a valid trade idea. Good morning, George. Good morning, Josh. Carlos, welcome to the squad. James, good morning. James and George, I owe both of you guys a call. Yesterday, I had 5 back-to-back calls and then the stream, and then the webinar. It was tough. Bobby, good morning. my guy Bryce. If you guys get a text or an email or anything from Bryce, just know that's Chart Addicts. That's the guy. All right. We got a great team here of traders, and I'm looking forward to really building it out. As you all become more and more experienced in your trading and you're starting to see success, there's opportunities for you guys to come and join us as coaches and traders on the team. And so everybody who's on the Zoom call right now, that's a goal that I have for most of you, because you're the team that has shown that you're the most serious, that you're dedicated, you're coachable. This is our squad. So if you guys have an interest of joining the team, keep working on your own trading, because the last thing we're going to do is bring people on and distract you from your trading. Once you start seeing the success, the spot on the team is guaranteed for you. And so make sure that you guys are taking this serious if that's your goal. Roman, good morning. Noah, always good morning, bro. Mo, I got back to back yesterday, from the NAS bootcamp to the live streams to then we had the GOP debate. It was a long day yesterday. And then, of course, my guy, Max. We got Janae in the house. Janae, great morning. Let's put those lessons to use today. All the stuff that we've been talking about. Just getting there little at a time. It's just, I wouldn't even say it little at a time, because that kind of makes it seem like you're not playing at your full potential. It's really just one step at a time. One of the biggest issues with, I don't want to say just trading, but with just setting goals in general, is that people have an unrealistic expectation of how long it takes to succeed at something. So it's all one day at a time. It's not going to happen overnight. So today you have an opportunity to make a good decision or make a bad decision, to follow your plan or not follow your plan. And every day that you follow your plan and you do the right thing, you're putting a coin on the right side of the scale for your success. So use this today as an opportunity to make all the right decisions. So if you told yourself that you're not trading Thursdays, then you better follow that plan. If you told yourself that you're not going to take more than 2 trades, you got to follow that plan. That's how we become successful. One day at a time. So let's go, boss. Good afternoon from London. Good afternoon, Mr. Man. Cliffco. Hey, Roy. Good morning. The Flip King. Good morning, the Flip King. Roy, what's up? Nas King. Guys, don't call me no king. No, bro. I'm just a guy. All right? Don't fuck with my ego. I'm trying to be a great trader. Great traders cannot allow the ego to get the best of them. I'm just a guy. Shout out from Mexico. Oh, David Sanchez in the house. The soccer player? I don't watch soccer, so I'm just the football player. Walter, good morning. Luke Yuri, good morning. Good morning. Fire education every day. Well, today I don't know if I'm going to be doing too much education. I'm going to cover market news, and then I just want to trade. Like I do this for a living, so at the end of the day, I'm streaming, yes, but I'm really just here to trade 100% today, because I just got to make a good choice, make some money, and walk away. However, there's a lot going on geopolitically. There's a lot of alliances being formed. There's a lot of data coming out. And it's important for us to stay on top of it, because as the election cycle starts to heat up, we're going to be getting hit with a lot of distractions. And if you don't keep your eye on the ball, you may start to believe some of the media distractions, as opposed to looking at the raw data itself. And so hopefully what I can do on these streams consistently is give you guys market news in a non-biased and in a very straightforward and easy to understand way, so that everyone who hops on these streams can have the same access to quality information as the people that watch the mainstream financial platforms, but you can get it in an easy to understand way, and hopefully a slightly more entertaining way. And hopefully I can break things down from my perspective and how they're going to move markets. So that's what I'm looking forward to doing. Appreciate all of you guys for being along for the ride. And yeah, look forward to giving you guys that quality info. Man, son of a... So close. No retest, no entry. You guys get the drill. But overall, the trade idea was still there. And so a big piece that I had to learn is that even when I don't make money, as long as I'm building my confidence, or I'm building my pattern recognition with the strategy, I'm still happy. Yeah. It's like, yeah, I didn't catch the trade, I didn't make money. So I could either, number one, is feel FOMO, or number two, say, okay, the strategy works, and next time, no hesitating, and we really just got to be as effective as possible here. at trading the strategy that we all know works. You can see it here. Okay. I'm looking for potential long positions at 15,263. Now, because we're at a daily high and we're making tons of rejections, there's a chance that the market just breaks straight through these zones. So I am going to be, I guess here's a rule of thumb, is that the longer that price is in a range, the closer you are to the breakout. And so like, yeah, buying here, selling here, we're all good. At some point, this thing is going to break in one direction or the other. And so the more touches that we have, the more likely that we are, or the closer that we're getting to that eventual breakout. And so if you're trading a range, especially if you've already taken multiple trades in the range, I guess a little piece of guidance would be reduce your risk on each trade while you're trading in the range, because at some point you're going to hit the breakout and you don't want that to be the trade that you over leveraged on. You don't want that to be the trade that you thought was the one and you went too heavy. So what I personally do is I've been trading up and down. I'm making money. And let's say I'm up 2,700 this week, just between Tuesday, Wednesday, just between the past 2 days. I don't want to be risking my money back into the markets. I want to risk a percentage of this, and I want to make sure that no matter what, if the market does break out and I miss this buy, for example, or I lose this buy position, it's not going to ruin all the progress I've made trading the rest of the range. It's not going to take back all the money that I've made making the right choices. Hope that makes sense. I'm picking up some sauce today. Body to wick for Forex. No, it depends on the pair. What you do every day is educating to me, bro. Thanks for everything, for sure. Shout out to Chart Addicts fam. Yes. Amazing class yesterday. Chris, good to have you on. Yes. In case you guys don't know what they're talking about, I do host a strategy session where I go through my entire system for NASDAQ from start to finish. It's an hour and a half every day for 4 days. It's everything I've learned over the past 4.5 years. It's supposed to save you thousands of dollars and to save you years of time. And so if that's something you're interested in, go over to chartaddictsfx.com and click on live classes. Prices will go up next week. So this is going to be the best chance for you guys to secure your seat to the next class. All right, here's an observation. This actually might be a potential buy position, because if this is the low, and I draw my fibs from the body to the wick, that's the 88.6 rejection in it. So we could break below this low and then come down here to the buy position, which personally I want to wait for, but there's a massive area of support here, and the market could just hold this area. So there's a potential to buy at this current zone. I'm going to wait for the deeper retracement only because that's just a function of my strategy, but there is potentially a trade here at the lows where the market just continues to the upside. I completely accept that, and if I miss this trade, so be it. But I'm going to wait for the 15,263 area just to clear the liquidity from the Tokyo session. We cleared it from the top, so we already broke. Everybody who had sell positions here just got kicked out. Everyone who has buy positions from the Tokyo session needs to get kicked out. And as soon as we have both of those things, then we're ready to continue to move. So I just want to see that liquidity push through that zone so I can get an entry. But keep in mind, the market could continue from here, because this is the daily low, top to bottom. This is the 88.6. We've already technically hit, the requirements for this trade to continue. Neo says, good trade. Do you use body to wick for, okay, we already answered that. Smash that like button. Noah, I appreciate you, bro. So what's happening geopolitically? Obviously, there's the main two conflicts are still Russia and Ukraine, and obviously Israel, Palestine. I think that the big point here is that the amount of money being sent to Ukraine has dramatically decreased. And a lot of the financing that was supposed to go there has now gone to Israel and its support and to our own troops. So the tensions are calmed to the point now where I think like after a week, we can start to potentially talk about peace talks. When you have both parties that are extremely animated, nobody wants to have peace talks. And I actually, to be completely honest, I don't see any hope for peace talks in Palestine, Israel, unless there is Arab unity with the rest of the world. So the concept of Arab neutrality is where the 13 largest Arab states agreed to stop beefing with Israel and instead to focus on prosperity because they realize that this is a battle that no one's going to ever win. So the Arab neutrality treaties, if we're able to bring that up to the table, I think that there's a peaceful resolution to what's going to happen here. I said peaceful. I did not say fair, right? Peaceful does not mean that everyone's going to get justice and everything is going to happen the way it's supposed to. There will be concessions. There will be land that has to be given up. There will be policies that have to be implemented, but it's still better than innocent people dying. And so at some point, once both sides realize this is an unwinnable war, I think that it's going to be very quickly turned into the opportunity for the rest of the world to intervene and create some peace treaties. What's happening in Ukraine and Russia is that Ukraine has completely depleted all their resources, all their manpower, and their entire military capacity. So at this point, Ukraine knows that they're in a losing battle, and America is at the negotiating table, essentially trying to beg Putin to take the regions that he was fighting for, and let's just end this conflict and move on. So I think that the Russian and Ukraine conflict is coming to an end. And guys, at the end of the day, I'm an American citizen, and I'm Lebanese, and so I don't really have a skin in the game in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. I'm looking at it as geopolitical. So I know that everybody has their own opinions about right, wrong, morality. I'm strictly talking about geopolitical tensions and then their effects on markets. You guys remember 2020 when Trump was starting trade wars? You guys remember when COVID happened? You guys remember when, like even when the Ukraine-Russia crisis broke out, even when Israel broke out, you guys can see the effects on markets. So my job is to kind of look at things from the 30,000-foot view and then leave the rest to the religious clerics and to the political pundits. All right? My job is just to focus on the important things right now. So could this spill over into an international conflict and potentially drag us into World War III? I don't think so. Even if the largest powers get involved, even if Iran gets involved militarily, is that enough to drag China and India and Russia into a conflict? I don't think so. So I do believe that there is a way out of this without a massive global conflict, and that's the number one goal right now. Now, I understand that to the Palestinians and to the Israelis, they have another goal. But as someone living in America, we have to look at this and say, how do we avoid World War III? What is the absolute most important outcome to avoid? And then let's start working backwards from those priorities. I do believe that that's the best path forward, at least right now. But then again, I'm just a guy trading on a fucking screen. So who knows? What do I know, right? So I don't say I'm not convinced that this is the real low of the day. I still believe that we can make it down to this low. But then again, that's just speculation. I was going to say I'm going to short the retest here, but just judging by the fact that we still have bullish intention, the market is still bullish. It's probably just best to wait for the buy move and then to trade in the direction of the market. Now, I may have to adjust the stop loss because I have a feeling that we could come all the way down inside this range and then push up. So I'm still looking at the 260 area and maybe even a few points below. All right, give me a few seconds, y'all. I'm gonna go grab a cup of coffee, something to drink. Let me know if you guys have any questions or pairs you'd like me to cover. Guys, most likely I will not take a trade today. So I'll mostly be focusing on economics and I'll be focusing on some of the fundamentals, the main metrics that I'm currently watching to see if Jerome Powell is going to change his mind towards the end of the year. What is happening with the quality of the Zoom? Oh, nah. Yo, I'm getting a new camera. Shout out to Jesse. I ordered that new cam. It's going to be here in about a week. Very excited for it. I'm going to be in HD with all of you guys. You'll see every crease and crevice on my face. We're going to be best friends. I'm going to be up close and personal on these streams now. It's going to be fun. I've been streaming for years. I've done podcasts. Like, guys, we got videos on the channel that have hit multiple hundreds of thousands of views. We average close to 400,000 views a month. We're a pretty big channel. and I still don't have a professional camera. Isn't that fucking nuts? Like, imagine if I had a 4K camera. I'd probably have 1 million subs. I'd be fucking Joe Rogan at this point. Just saying. People click on it, they see the pixelated, bro, this looks like it was shot with a TI calculator, bro. What is this quality? They're typing in the comment section. They're not listening to the heat. I got so many podcasts on the channel that could change your life that it's kind of hard for me to pinpoint a favorite one or the most valuable one, because they're all like that. Let me show you a few examples here. Go to the Chart Addicts channel. And in your free time, if you guys are ever looking for content to really boost your trading, I highly recommend heading over to the channel. We got about 50 episodes, I think. I think we have more than 50 episodes. This is not accurate. The Expert Trader series. Bro, take me to the folder. All right, let's just go to the homepage. Okay, this is our channel. Boom, the Expert Trader series. So Darren Creedy, 1.7 million funded trader, my guy. You guys can go check out this podcast. 2 million funded trader, Josh Barnes. So if you're looking to get funded or you're looking to start a prop firm challenge, just go and watch the ones from the people who are succeeding at these challenges. I also interviewed the CEO of the funded trader, Angelo. This is before all the BS happened. So you guys can go back and check. Anthony's World and QB Stew. So this is actually pretty funny now because, you know, you got Sway Beef and the top tier beef, and then we got them both on a podcast. You know, Ken Shigbo, if you guys have been trading since before 2019, you know who Ken is. No surprises there. Steve Luke, crushing it in the UK. Words of Wisdom, obviously, he's got a crushing podcast right now. If you guys haven't seen his most recent one, fire. Goldfather, we got him on. We got the Masked Trader. This one did 111,000 views. People just love to see the Masked Trader. I got the Alex G interview from back in the day. We got Drew. Let's keep going. I know that some of you guys got opinions about some of these guys. Granted, this is a long time ago. This is a year ago, all right? I got my guy, Jason, who turned $500 to 85,000. It was unbelievable. It was probably one of the craziest flips I've ever seen, and all of us would love to turn 500 to 85,000 on any given day. It was an absolute crazy podcast. This is a sleeper, the Millionaire Advice for Success. Lasaldo is one of my favorite mentors, one of the people that I know I can get quality advice from, because he's never trying to play an angle, and he's always telling it to me straight. Said, don't waste your money on all this shit. Nobody cares about you. They're going to all forget about you, and you're going to be broke. So save your money and don't flex. He told me these things straight up. They stuck with me for years. Umar Ashraf, one of my favorite traders in the world today. My guy, highly recommend watching this one. James Storms and T-Mac, Yacht Talks. We're on a yacht. Emil, we got the Swaggy C interview with Chris Williams. My good friend Abel Melendez, I love this one. These two are sleepers. You can see all of my best podcasts that will teach you the most have the least amount of views. If you're looking at my channel and you say, what is the most valuable information on here? Go to wherever the least amount of views are. I guarantee that that's the sauce. Take notes. We got the Q Banks and Anthony interview. I got Andy Peters, my good friend Jessica Lane, Derek Vandy. We got Jason and James. We got Charlene. We have Mamba FX. We got Raul and Alex, the only interview with Raul and Alex. We have James Storms and Q Banks. You know, this is all before the beefs, guys. It's all before the beefs. Got QB Stu, we got Andy, Uncle Ted. So I actually originally took these down because obviously Ponzi schemes and all the rest. I decided to put them back up because it's a real learning experience. Because he was doing all these things during these interviews. So you can see he's kind of like trying to defend himself and just projecting what other people are doing to try to deflect the attention from him. But it didn't work, obviously. What else? We got the original Q Banks interview. This is one of the first Q Banks interviews that was ever done. Actually, the first Q Banks interview was right here, 3 years ago. So this is 2019 or 2020. This is the first interview that Q ever did, ever. It went crazy. We have Raja, Wicks Don't Lie. That was one of the biggest, that was the first, I believe, podcast that Raja ever did. And I have 3 different podcasts with Ted. The World Series Poker to 8-Figure Trader. I can guarantee you guys, all personal things aside, all of my personal issues with Ted aside, this is one of the most valuable pieces of content in trading history, I think. This thing still changed my perspective. The first Lambo Raul interview, this is the one where he introduced me to FTMO. So That's where I first started looking into getting funding, and I started to, started my first challenge, the 50K. There's tons of interviews on here. We also have the institutional insights. I know that I'm talking about the channel, guys. I'm still looking at price here, waiting for some kind of correction. Be patient. I was like, why is he talking about the channel? Let's trade. This is legendary shit. Yeah, guys, we have all the first podcasts. Like we started this shit. Let's not get this fucked up. The Day in the Life series went crazy. I got 420,000 views on the Day in the Life with Raul. Got a 200K on the interview, 140K on the interview on the Day in the Life with Q Banks. All right, my man bought a bunch of expensive ass cars. We hung out for the whole day. It was lit. Matt Chart. We got a bunch of interviews here. The institutional insight series is my favorite. Look at this shit, bro. Anthony Pompliano talking about the future of Bitcoin. 315 views. Like that's absolutely crazy. He probably got shadow banned too. That's nuts. We have Bob Elliott, a good friend of mine. He used to be Ray Dalio's personal wealth manager. He used to be the head of his personal investment team at Bridgewater and Associates. Genius. One of the top economists in the world today. Brent Johnson is the founder of the dollar milkshake theory. We got Lewis, founder of Sway, but this is before he had Sway. He was an NFL player. He was working on blockchain technologies. He was building crypto security platforms using really, really complicated. Like the guy's legit. I fuck with Lewis. All the shit aside, who has an interview with TradingView? Who has an interview with the founder of Oanda? Oanda is one of the largest Forex brokers today and the first and pioneer of the Forex brokerage space. Look at this, Oanda. We're using their price quotes to this day. In 1995, Dr. Olson started the Olson and Associates, O and D Corporation, in order to use his technological skills to be able to give retail traders access to markets. He had all the biggest banks as his clients. So all the biggest banks like Deutsche and Citibank and Credit Suisse as his clients in Europe. And he was able to pioneer the micro lot size he invented. So before you had to batch orders, so you could only do a minimum of large orders. Being able to split up your orders into these small transactions and batch them all together was the genius of Dr. Olson. So he basically invented markets. And then we have TradingView. And then we have the top economists in the world. We do this shit. There's so much heat there that it's unbelievable. You need to get capital hungry. I will fight capital hungry for charity instead. How about that? Fuck that kid. That kid's a fucking pussy. So no, I will not interview that doofus. He said, love the knowledge. Whoop, whoop. Yeah. There's very few people I have issues with in the trading space. If you stalk me, if you harass me on different platforms, and if you just are an absolute waste man's and a nuisance, now we have a problem. I don't like pests. I don't like things that just like bro, go away. You know what I'm saying? Like, just leave me the fuck alone. And they're just like, meh, 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 meh. Those are the people I don't like. And if I have a problem with you, we got a serious problem. You need to get you need to get capital hungry. You need to get hungry for more capital, my boy. You gotta get your money up, not your funny up. All right, this is a patience game. I never got that coffee, did I? I was supposed to get a cup of coffee like 20 minutes ago. All right, give me a sec. I'll be right back. If this thing comes down to the 15,260, the best orders are always below the 886. Keep that in mind. So as the market comes down to the 886, wait just 1 second. Get those orders under the 886. Look at that. Difference between a 2-to-1 trade and 2.7 to 1. The difference between me making $2,000 on a trade, risking $1,000, $2,000 versus 2,700 is just waiting for one wick, which could take seconds. It could take seconds. Isn't that crazy? Like, you're just gonna sit here and then just whip down. That little decision right there could be the difference between a 2.7 to 1 and a 2-to-1 R. He said the podcast is gems. I promise you guys, one of the most valuable pieces of trading content in the world is on that channel. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. He said, I love the content. Are you getting Luke Belmore? No, I don't think so. There's just not much that there's a parallel between like everybody that I get on, even if people think it doesn't have to do with trading, like Neil from Timepiece Trading. They'll be like, well, this guy sells watches to Drake and like Steve will do it and 6ix9ine. Like, what does he have to do with trading? The company is called Timepiece Trading. You bring in a product for a low price, you try to make a deal and exchange it, and your job is to wait for that watch to go up in value and then sell it for profits. It's trading from start to finish, except he's doing it at a very high level with millions and millions of dollars, as well as high net worth clients. So there's an extra level there. The watch market, if you put it on a chart, we could trade it using the same technical analysis rules. And so that's where a lot of the content on there is specifically designed to help traders and entrepreneurs. The thing about Luke is like he's mostly just like social media marketing and shit and like whatever he's doing. So I don't know. We did hang out for a while. The guy's actually very smart and he's very well spoken, but I just don't think that it relates much to our channel. To escape the matrix. Take this trade. It's the easiest way to escape the matrix. Love the content. You're gonna coupon code. There is no coupon code today. There's no coupon code today, guys. So the price for the NAS100 masterclass will increase next week. So if you guys are looking to get in at you missed the last NAS100 masterclass, you're looking at the strategy all the time. You're like, it makes sense, but there's a lot of stuff to it. I don't really get it. Roy doesn't seem reliable. I want to learn this for myself so that I can put my family's future in my own hands. I recommend doing it this week because when prices go up next week, everyone's gonna be like, "No, bro, can you guys lower the price for just one more week? Can you guys just?" I'm letting you know. You can't say I didn't tell you. Also, another great thing that I learned, and one of my favorite podcasts relating to health is the Huberman Lab podcast. I believe he is an MIT researcher, a PhD researcher. He does a lot of research on hormones, on sleep, on really it's just neurochemical balances. And what he was explaining in the podcast is that caffeine doesn't actually wake you up. What it does is it acts on something called your adenosine system, which is a release of this neurochemical that starts to build up. And as it builds up, it gives you this sense of like tired feeling. Like signals stop getting sent through the brain. It just starts to like build up and then you just get very tired. What caffeine does is it actually stops the buildup of that and that adenosine, so you never feel tired. Now, I'm going to keep butchering the name. The adenosine system is not active in the morning. And so when you drink coffee first thing in the morning or any source of caffeine, you're not actually doing yourself any favors. What actually works on your cortisol and your adrenaline and dopamine, which is going to help give you that sense of alertness, awakeness, and kind of that drive, is actually salts. And I'm not talking about just like sodium chloride, like table salt. It's things like electrolytes, potassium, and others. So I drink electrolytes first thing in the morning to try to get myself back up, drink a lot of water to stay hydrated. Market is almost at the buy entry. Almost there. Damn. It really could just push from the bottom of the range, but entering up here would completely crush the risk and reward. So I don't have a choice. I gotta wait for this just to even have a decent R&R opportunity. But the shorts would have played out. The shorts would have hit TP. There we go. Says, which podcast is that? Do you honestly think the majority of prop firms will go under soon? The majority, yes. 90% plus. Not all of them, Sky Blue, but the majority, yes. I just joined the stream. I don't know which podcast you were talking about. It's the podcast on our channel. The Chart Addicts channel has some of the most fire trading podcasts that's ever existed. We also used to do these charity streams. Let's see where they're at. You guys can see we're starting to drop the recordings from the FX Summit, by the way. We're starting to drop recordings from the FX Summit. So if you guys weren't able to make it, the first video is already up. This is the opening speech from Jason. where he was just, this is the #1 conference in the world for traders and investors. It's a conference that we host every year called the FX Summit. The next one will be in Dubai next year, November 2024. This year was in Miami, Florida, and the opening speaker was Jason, QB Stu. Came out, told his story about going from being broke to making hundreds of thousands of dollars in trading, and just the journey of ups and downs that you'll face, as well as staying connected to a higher purpose. So this was a really good speech. I highly recommend it. We'll be dropping some of the most fire speeches here soon. The expert trader one is going to be a smash. And my favorite podcast is the funded trader, or my favorite panel speech was the funded traders. So I got some of the funded traders that I interviewed on the channel, as well as the co-founder of Chart Addicts, Omer, and they were all on stage talking about how to get funded, the tricks and tips on how to make sure that you're scaling that capital and just getting more and more capital to have that success. Huberman podcast, he said his podcast is the best. The guy's the GOAT, literally a legend. Same with just all of them. Huberman Lab podcast is solid. I listen to his podcast daily. You're nailing it with the caffeine. I listen to this one too. Yeah, for sure. But then after, once your adrenaline's already up and running, once your body's and your system is already in motion, then caffeine can come in handy, give you that boost. Give you that boost. He said sugar and coffee are the most addictive substances in the world. Okay, well, thank you for the fun facts. I learned a lot at the summit. I can't wait for Dubai. Walter, me and you both, bro. As selfish as this is going to sound, I set up the FX Summit really selfishly for me. I want to be surrounded by all these great traders. I want to learn from the best of the best. I want to be exposed to the top information out there. I want to see how people have been able to not only trade, but take their trading money and build an investment empire. Because, I don't know if you've noticed, there probably aren't too many consistently profitable traders on here yet. But if you're consistently profitable at trading, at some point you'll realize that there's more to life. And God did not put you on this earth to be here staring at these charts. You were given an opportunity to spend years learning a skill set and really refining it so that you can use the money from this skill to go live an incredible life, to go invest in things that will make you money in the future, and then to go and build things that you genuinely care about. Do not lose track of that goal. A lot of people are like, well, I just want to be a trader. And like, why would I do this if I could just keep trading? Like, why would I do this? Why would you sell a course? Why would you do the if you're a trader? It's like, who the fuck thinks that sitting in front of the charts for the rest of their life is a good existence? I don't think anybody, even I love trading markets more than anybody. And even I don't say that that's the goal, that's the purpose of life. That's ridiculous. So look at the other side and ask yourself, when you do get the success, what are you going to do with it? Because chances are a lot of you have not thought about that yet. Look, well, I'm just going to keep trading more and more and more. Come on. Facts. Roy, did you hear about the launching of the first electronic stock exchange? I think we'll soon be saying FTX launched the tokenized security exchange. Did you hear about the launching of the first electronic stock exchange? Yeah, I probably heard about it back in 1962 when the NASDAQ first came out. Well, I got it right here. Give me a sec. Got the dates right in front of me, if I can find it. Come on. Whenever I gotta find something, I can't find it. All right, whatever. Yeah, long story short, the NASDAQ was one of the first electronic stock exchanges. It's the whole point. I think it's the National Association of Securities Digital Quotes. I think that's what it stands for. The National, I'm gonna like try to get this right. It's the National Association for Securities Digital, I don't know. It's a digital quotes something. National Association of Securities Dealers. That's what it was. Automated quotations. It's the NASDAQ. He said, getting my money up to make that. He said, LOL, this guy. He said 1962. I mean, I don't know when the NASDAQ opened. That's a history question. When did the NASDAQ? 71. I was a little off. My bad. I mean, I'm not a fucking historian. Yeah, yo, damn, man. That might have been the low of the day. Because at this point, we've already met all of the requirements for this thing to go bullish. If you guys have been paying attention to my strategy or part of the master class, we have the sideways, we got the fake up, we got the push down, and if you could see, we did break just under those lows. Actually, did we? Hold on, did we? Oh, we haven't broken under yet. We haven't broken under yet, and we don't really have to, because one of the, you guys remember type 2? Type 2 is bang, bang, bang. So never a break below. So that could be a type 2, but until we clear the liquidity from Australia, I still think that we can push down first before we continue up. That's what I'm banking on. I could be wrong, and probably will be at this point, but we've already had all the phases. We had the push up, push down. We've already had a break above the consolidation range, and then slightly a break below. Not really. We haven't really broken below. And we're at the bottom of the range. We're at support. So we have resistance, support, discount, premium. We're at support. So you have the pattern or the model that already showed itself, all phases. Broken above and below the liquidity. Came back to retest the support zone. This thing has everything it needs to continue. The only thing it doesn't have is the higher time frame 886. So personally, I'm going to see if we can get that one push down. And oh, baby, we're in the money. Okay, I actually want to see a demographic shift or a demographic. Let's just look at some stats here. Put a 1 in the chat if you are a consistently profitable trader in the group chats or in the comment section. Put a 2 if you're a break-even trader. You're making money, but then you're just always giving it back. And then put a 3 if you still have not found that success yet. I'm going to put a big yet there. Because it will come. If you stick around long enough. So Josh, yep, we got some profitable traders. We got some break even. We got some folks that have not reached the success yet. Beautiful. He said it's coming soon, though. It's a choice at this point. It's a choice. Because once you guys know what it takes to improve your risk and reward and what it takes to be more selective, your break-even trading becomes profitable very quickly. A lot of the reason that we're unprofitable or that we were break-even is not because of like you don't know a strategy, the discipline, the mindset. It's just small tweaks. Like, for example, if I had taken this trade up here and I was taking a 1-to-1 trade versus this 2.2 to 1, it makes a huge difference. If I'm losing trades and I'm expecting one good trade to make up for all of it, that one good trade better make up for all of it. If I'm entering even a little bit late and I'm just screwing with the numbers, and instead of having a 2-to-1 risk and reward, I'm making half the money that I'm supposed to be making, obviously I'm going to stay and break even. You're going to win 4 or 5 trades in a row. Oh my God, right? And then the one trade that you lose draws down the whole account because you don't understand that you're taking a full loss from here. You're taking the full loss. But if you're entering late, you're only getting, half of what the profit should have been. Institutional traders are obligated to enter. They have to submit orders into the markets based on whatever their job is. As a retail trader, the only real advantage that we have is that we never have to trade. The ability to stay out and just wait. I can wait for a whole year. That's the superpower of the retail trader. That's the biggest advantage we have against institutions, that no matter what the market conditions are, volatility, no volatility, volume, no volume, they have to submit orders. For us, we can be highly selective and say, unless it meets all the metrics of my criteria, I will not enter this trade. unless it hits all of my confirmations, I will not enter this trade. That is the power of a retail trader. I'm looking at the YouTube comments here. We see It's kind of funny. Nobody commented on me saying I was gonna beat up Capital Hungry. It's kind of just everybody just let that slide. Got a lot of twos, got some ones, a few threes. What's up, Vic? How you doing, bro? My dad is in here. My dad said he's not profitable. Dad, you're gonna make me look bad. You're gonna be like, oh, your own father is not profitable. Guys, I promise he's not, he doesn't actually trade. He's just fucking around. Oh, I just cursed again. There we go. That's strike 3, Pops. That's on me. I'm about to get grounded after this, people. This is the thing about being a public figure. Everyone's like, oh, I want to be a streamer. I want to be a streamer. What about when your parents show up to the stream? Right? What happens then? No, my parents know I'm a goof, but they also know I get it done. All jokes, people. All jokes. Throw a quick shout out to my dad in the chats, y'all. Just say that he birthed a legend. Tell him he's a GOAT. Could you briefly speak about the institutional compulsory putting orders thing that you just mentioned? This is new for me. Yeah, institutional traders have 2 main jobs. You're either trading the capital of the firm, so whatever the company or the hedge fund that you're trading for, they give you money. Your job is to sit there and produce results. You get commissions off of the overall results that you produce. Bank traders, which are basically just the ones that are moving money around the world at specific rates, what happens is if you want to send money to, let's say, Germany, your business partners in Germany. Okay, you'll go to a middleman, let's say JP Morgan, and you'll tell JP Morgan, I want to send $100 million to the German branch, to the people over there. Now, in order for JP Morgan to send the money overseas, they first have to convert it from US dollars to euros. Now, do you guys think that the trader who's responsible for putting this order of 100 million over to euros and converting it is doing it at random prices? Or do you think that he's trying to do it in a very specific way so he can make money, commissions, and so that they don't spook the markets? So the reality is that these traders, if they put the whole 100 million in at one time, it might shake the markets, and then everybody starts panicking and it fucks up your trade. Okay, you don't want the markets to be in a completely different spot than you intended. You want to move the markets just enough to put these orders in spurts. Now, 100 million is very small. I'm just kind of using it as an example here. And so JP Morgan will split up this order. They will convert it between, like, you look at the Euro USD rate, you'll just keep waiting until Euro USD is at a great level that you can convert and make money on it. And so they'll watch the price charts, they'll time it, and then they'll put in these orders to exchange. Now, if I give you 100 million to send it, you got to fucking send it. You have to find some way to send it. And that's where I think the compulsory nature of it is that you either want to keep your job and make commissions as a floor trader, let's say Citadel and Jane Street and some of the big prop firms where they have the high frequency trading. And then the bank traders, quote unquote, are just moving money around internationally, but they're doing it in a way that's favorable for them based on the exchange rates. He says, proud dad. Victory, what's up, Roy? Amazing to see you, bro. Glad to see you, the company, and the boys growing. My boy, good to see you, man. I appreciate that. You told us why you ain't going to interview him. We all understood. Are you talking about Capital Hungry, or who you guys talking about? Shout out to Roy's dad. Amazing man. Met him during the first FX Summit. A legend for real. I love it. You love it. Love it. Your dad is a beast. He says, Papa Goat. Yo, you guys are awesome, man. Let's go. Shout out to Mr. Dunya. Can 1 to 2 million orders make major moves or cause? No. You got to think about the size of the Forex market. So if we're talking about $6 to $7 trillion in aggregated value, it doesn't mean that that's how much money is flowing around. Those are derivative contracts, futures, options, swaps. And then because of the leverage and margin that's allowed using those derivative instruments, the size of the market is just huge. My big bet for crypto is not that Bitcoin is going to get trillions of dollars invested in it. Is that there's going to be enough money in Bitcoin that they start building derivative instruments like ETFs, like Yeah, like futures, like swaps, and like options. And that's going to take the crypto market from $1 trillion market cap total to $100 trillion. This is what Dr. Olson said at the FX Summit. I know you guys remember this. He said that Forex will become a $100 trillion industry. So when you think about how much money is really flowing around, no, $1 million order will not even touch price movement. What's up, Roy? Come back to Dallas. I'll entertain Dallas for sure. He said, okay, I get it now. This is institutional trading. And keep in mind that traders aren't necessarily the ones moving price. Like they're not the main drivers of price. If you think about who are the biggest money houses that are buying and selling foreign currencies, it's actually governments and central banks. Central banks hold large deposits of foreign, or hold large holdings of foreign deposits because they want to make sure that they have a good mix and that they are diversified. If the US dollar is crashing really hard, you don't want to have all your money in dollars. If the Japanese yen is a worthless currency, then you don't really want to be holding the yen, but you don't want to hold any one currency because then you have currency risk. And so what most central banks will do is have a diversified approach where they're going to hold a bunch of different currencies in proportion to their needs, whether it's liquidity or whether it's yield. Most central banks want to hold the currency that's going to give them the most return, the highest yield. Okay. If you hold certain currencies with central banks, if you're the Bank of England and you hold dollars, you hold them at the central bank, or you have a swap line with the central banks, you're able to earn yield just by owning that currency versus another one. If you exchange your currency for another one, you're also able to arbitrage the difference and make money. So a lot of these banks are just buying up currencies that's going to make them the most money. And then whenever the world is kind of getting risky, like people are more open to risk, like we're seeing right now, where you see stocks going up and crypto going up, there's a risk on sentiment and there's a desire to go out further into the risk curve. That's when you'll typically see people get out of currencies and then get into those risky assets like stocks and like crypto. So central banks are the number one driver of price. Number two is going to be the largest commercial banks. Number three is going to be the funds that the market making funds, as well as the high frequency trading firms that are pushing the most volume. So if you think about in the stock trading world, Citadel Securities actually has a major impact on price. Like they're pushing so many orders into the market. High frequency trading is, if I want to take a trade, you'll put in 1,000 orders ahead of mine, small orders, and then put in my order. The price starts to get bid up. They get to close all their smaller orders. But what they're doing is that they are creating, like that's where a lot of the spread comes from. Spread really comes from originally, like, and if you look at some of the high frequency trading firms, the manipulation that happens in the back end is the spread is the time that it takes for them to enter a bunch of orders before you do. Why don't regulators step in? You think that the SEC has any fucking clue about any of that technology, guys? You think that Citadel is paying billions of dollars a year to hundreds of PhDs to figure out how to front run our orders, and that the SEC using Microsoft Outlook is going to stop them? Shameful. Come back to Dallas. I'm not against Dallas. The only two places I'll never come back to is Atlanta and Atlanta. That's it. We ever start beefing with Mexico, give them Atlanta. Just take it. They'll be like, no, we want Louisiana. No. All right, crime. Weird people out there, fine. They got great food. We're keeping Louisiana. Take Atlanta. I had 3 of my favorite restaurants in Atlanta that I used to go visit. It was Gladys Chicken and Waffles. Miss Gladys Knight, she had her own restaurant, very famous spot, closed down. There was a few other spots that ended up closing. So like the only things I really loved about Atlanta are gone. I'm gonna go do fucking see the CNN Tower. I'd rather eat glass. What am I gonna do? Fucking tour the Coca-Cola factory, right? They caused the number 2 cause of death in America is diabetes. There's heart disease and then diabetes. So sugar and salt are the biggest enemies of Americans. Oh, let's go tour the Coca-Cola factory. It's like saying let's go tour the fucking nuclear site. Let's go tour the fentanyl factory. So I'm good. Fuck Atlanta. And if you're from Atlanta, I didn't say fuck you. I just said fuck Atlanta, right? Unless you built that shit, unless you're in the government there, unless you're responsible for the decisions being made, do not take personal offense. I love the people of not all the people. You know what? Matter of fact, let me just stop here. We had some bad experiences in Atlanta, guys. It's just the way it is. Just the way it is. You guys know, some of you that were at the world tour that we hosted earlier this year, where we hit all the major cities in America. We went to do a world tour to teach trading education for free to everybody. We went to Washington, D.C. We went to New York City. We went to Atlanta, Georgia, Scottsdale, Arizona, Dallas, Texas, my first private jet ride. Insane. And then obviously we finished off the entire tour in the heart of America, here in Miami, Florida, the greatest state and the greatest city in America. What's my opinion on ICT? Do you believe the market is driven by an algorithm? It's not really about belief. I mean, that's just a fact. Like, do you guys actually think that there's people out here like pulling levers in the back and clicking buttons with the whole world's economy in one at stake? You gotta be out of your fucking mind if you think that there's manual orders being put in. It's like, yeah, of course there's an algorithm. I mean, just go look at any interviews from like the NASDAQ Stock Exchange or from Citadel or from just any of the market-making firms, any of the large exchanges. Everything is algorithmically done. And it's not even done just all for manipulation. It's really just, you have to have a business model. You have to have a predictable model. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of guesswork. It's a bunch of just luck going around. So my personal belief is that 100% there's an algo that runs the markets. But the question is, are you going to learn how it works? Everybody's so focused on all the wrong things. They'll be like, well, Roy, who runs the algo? Says, who fucking cares? Like, yes, I mean, I guess it matters. But if you find out how something works and you can make it work for you, then you can start asking some of those questions. But just focus on mechanical stuff rather than trying to quench your own curiosities. Because that's something that I did for a long time. I wanted to figure out, but why, right? But how does this move? And why does this move? And I'll be honest, none of that shit helped me make money. And if anything, it probably held me back for over a year from making money because I was just focused on all the wrong things. Yeah, but like, who's really pushing the price and who's really it doesn't fucking matter. The truth is, your broker spreads are causing you a lot more harm than you realize. It doesn't matter why they're doing it or how they're doing it or whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter how, so you can learn it. But what really matters is you identifying that there are clear, like, learn how the game works so that the game does not take advantage of you. Okay? And don't sit here and try to justify every move like, oh, it went up because the news and all this stuff. Or, banks have this and there's a secret conspiracy here. And you're just trying to find context. I want you to focus on mechanics. The mechanics are, for those of you guys that took the boot camp, there's the sideways consolidation before the session. There's the up, the down, like there's the mechanics here. Why does it do that? I learned all the whys and I started to really dig into that after I started making money. Because until you start making money, you got no business trying to become a historian or become like an encyclopedia. Y'all got me? Focus on the handful of mechanical things that will make you money. Who was my first mentor? It's a good question. My dad, right? But when it comes to like trading, I wouldn't say I really had mentors because like right now, guys, you're very, very spoiled. When I first started, there weren't people that were going out of their way to genuinely help people. It was a big fucking marketing scheme. It was IML. It was a bunch of other shit. So I never had somebody that like I had a formal mentor relationship with. The only real mentor that I would say I had, like in a formal setting, was when I worked at Merrill Lynch as a wealth advisor. So the head of the division and the head of our entire, the regional departments was the youngest advisor in the office. He was 41, I think. Young guy, especially because all the other advisors are 70 plus. And this guy had the most amount of money under management. I think he was managing close to $580 million. Okay. For out of respect, I'm not going to mention him on the stream, his name. So I was assigned to be his mentee. So everybody in the office gets a mentor. And he had the corner office. He was the head of the entire play. He was the manager of the whole fucking office because he was the big boss. He was the only real mentor I'd say I had. I learned more about wealth management in 3 months from him. I learned more about dealing with high net worth clients, their priorities, tax advantages, like strategies than I've ever done in my life. 4 years of college and all the shit I'm reading on my own time. So I'd say that's the only real mentor I had. I didn't learn much about economics or about trading or anything, but I learned about relationships. I learned about how rich people invest their money, and I learned about the priorities when building somebody's investment plan or somebody's portfolio. What do I include in my wealthy clients' portfolio that's going to help them meet their goals? At first, I was like, well, it's got to be a percentage of stocks and bonds, and they got to be making sure that it's tax advantaged. And he flipped that on its head, right? He showed me a way to really look comprehensively at somebody's financial situation and figure out their goals, timelines, and objectives to be able to build them a portfolio that's tailored to them. And that was one of the most valuable things I've ever learned. Now, when it comes to trading, I'm going to give a big shout out to my good friend Abel Melendez, because he's one of the best teachers for the beginner's concepts of trading that I've ever seen. And he really broke things down in a way that I never unsaw. And two people I really learned from, I'd say Lasaldo was a really good mentor to me, because he just called me out a few times. He'd be like, bro, you always posting these charts in the chat. You're always saying, oh, it hit TP, but I never see you posting no money. You're always, oh, wick entry, but you ain't posting no money. And so he basically had called me out for being an analyst and not necessarily being a trader. And that's when it really hit me that I was more focused on the technical analysis and being right and having the wick entry and all this shit than I was about actually pulling money out of the markets. Extracting money out of the markets is your only job, right? That's your objective. How you do that is by following a clearly defined plan and having proper risk management. But a lot of you guys want it to hit TP so bad that you won't close a good trade. You'll be in profits, you won't close it because you're like, no, it's going to hit TP too. Then all of a sudden it reverses. Had you closed profits consistently, you'd already be profitable, you'd already be making money, and you'd be extracting on a regular basis. So that was a huge wake-up call. So don't really look for mentors, look for people that'll roast you. Because then you're going to go in the mirror and you're going to look at yourself and be like, I've been wasting all my time. Like, maybe I'm not as good as I thought. You have to have that reckoning moment. A lot of people see that as bullying because they're soft. If you do not have thick skin, you will not survive in trading. If I can't tell you that you're a degenerate gambler and you got to cut that shit out, and now you get all depressed and you just like, it just kind of a reality check for you, I promise you, you have no business trading. Trading is for the folks that are willing to commit to personal development. You're willing to commit to the truth, because the markets will expose the worst side of your nature. The markets will bring out a side of you that you will have never seen, that you don't even know. And then through the confrontation of that, you become a better person, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, OMG, another guy who worked at a hedge fund. I didn't work at a hedge fund. I worked at an investment firm. I was a licensed broker-dealer through the SEC. I had a Series 66 license, and I was a licensed investment advisor. I also held, a lot of people don't know this, I also held a life, health, and annuity insurance license. So I was also licensed to sell insurance. I was licensed for so much shit. I got licensed for taxes. I've done too much in my life. Someone's got to make a movie. I've worked in Congress. Like, I legit wrote bills. Like, I did that because the person who's supposed to be writing it for the congressman is out drinking at the Capitol Club. So my dumbass, the intern, is just sitting there like, oh yeah, I'll do it. Right? My shift ends at 5. I'm out there at 8 p.m. Just my eyes just dry as fuck. Congressman doesn't even read it. They just vote. So there's a lot of experiences that'll teach you a lot about how the world works, how the country works. I've been blessed to have a lot of those. What is your trading system's average win rate and risk to reward? The intended win rate, like if you were to back test the strategy of how many times when the market presents a model that fits all 5 confirmations, how often it plays out, it's 85% plus. But as I was explaining to the NAS100 folks, is that just because the strategy has an 85% win rate does not mean that you will. I'm human, so I do make mistakes. And if I have a bit of a late entry that day, or I close it early, or I hold it too long, it's going to mess with the metrics of the system. So the intended system is around a 3-to-1 R&R, a true 3-to-1, with an above 85% win rate. But my win rate is less than 70%. I'm just keep it real. It's less than 65%. And my risk and reward is not 3-to-1. I'm getting it there. I really want to get it there, but it's not 3-to-1 either. So the intended versus the actual. Very important. Very important distinction there. Why did you leave that job and stuff? Well, to become a full-time trader. I realized that all the best trades were happening while I was in these meetings. And so I would look at a trade and I'd be in profits. And because I didn't want to be like thinking about the markets while I was in these meetings, I would close the trade or protect it. And then I would come back and it had smashed. And so, the days where I was making hundreds of dollars, like $200-300, I should have been making $2,000-3,000. And when I put it into perspective, I'm like, this meeting just cost me enough to make my whole month's salary. I could have just taken this trade and made my whole month's salary. And so the more that kept happening, the more that my job was getting in the way of my trading, I realized that it was time. But I had already made the choice I wanted to leave years prior, right? I was investing money into crypto. I was taking all my trading money because I had a job now. The job allowed me the financial security to pay all my bills and not need to take money from my trading accounts, which allowed me to just use my trading accounts to invest. So I invested in crypto in 2020 when the markets crashed because of COVID. I put all of my money, everything I had, into crypto. I pulled my 401k out at work and put it all into crypto. Okay, not financial advice. Don't do that shit. It was really stupid. But the timing was there. And so it wasn't just because I was making $3,000 a month now through trading that I could quit my job. No. I had to save up enough money to have my bills paid for over a year before I could quit my job. And I did not save enough money just through the trading profits I withdrew. I had to invest those profits into crypto, and the crypto ended up going up. And that gave me, number one, the ability to quit my job, and number two, the funds that we needed at Chart Addicts to be able to host the first FX Summit. So I ended up quitting because I knew that I had bigger goals in my life. I knew that trading would be the vehicle that could get me there, as opposed to the traditional job. Guys, look, on an average day, you're making 200 something bucks a day, at a job that's giving you 60,000. If I hit all of my metrics, which means I had to bring in $7 million of assets under management, then I'd get a bonus of 25,000. So it's like, you'd have to, like, you guys understand? Like, that's not the kind of money that I intended to make when I graduated. I knew what I had in store for me. I knew the institutions I wanted to open. I knew that there was potential for me to make serious change in the world, and it was not going to happen through a traditional job. I had to find an opportunity vehicle that could seriously pay me, to the point where if I want to open schools and I want to, I want to solve the incentive structures for certain things, I actually can. And so this was a no-brainer. The best move. Still rock with Abel. Abel's the guy, bro. Abel's my bro. If I'm a beginner trader, what do you recommend? Pairs or index? When you're choosing what to trade, there's 3 metrics you have to watch out for. And this is why I recommend all of you reach out to us for personal coaching. Everybody's like, oh, they're just trying to push another coaching thing. Like, ask yourself, if somebody stood in front of you, a person like myself was in front of you one-on-one, listen to all your trading history up until that point, would I be able to give you pieces of insight and a sense of direction and help you build a plan that'll make you profitable? The answer is yes. It's obvious. So ask yourself how long you're willing to wait until you see that success. Very straightforward. So I would highly recommend getting coaching so that you don't go. The problem with learning things yourself is that you subconsciously build bad habits. And then you guys come to me and I have to unwind years of bad habits and then reshape your perspective on how markets work and do this whole thing over again. In order to save yourself even the possibility of building these bad habits that you'll have to unwind, start off with the proper education and start off by building the right habits and focusing on the right things, so that the 3-6 months that you would have been spending guesswork and all the other bullshit, you're just building momentum in the right direction. So really, really, bro, I would recommend doing coaching and figuring that out. Now, with that being said, what I tell my coaching students is your strategy is going to be based on 3 things. Who else is thinking about selling this right now? I'm going to take a scalp here, guys. This is not a high probability trade because the buyers are still in full control. I am trading against the direction of the trend. This is not a high probability setup. What I'm doing is I'm taking the shot right here at the previous high to see if we at least get one more pullback into the range. So I'm going to enter this trade here. Oh my God. Why do my quotes always freeze? Let me do this on my phone. Essentially, it looks like this. 88.6 from the most recent drop. Stop loss above the highs. TP at the lows. A good 2-to-1 R&R. Not bad. Not bad. Matter of fact, damn, it looks good, but I'm gonna leave it alone only because my intention was to wait for the longs. I'm gonna stick to my rule sets, and if I don't get those buys, so be it. All right, a little bit of discipline here. Best move. I need to find a coach. Well, it's nice to meet you, Marshall. Head over to chartaddictsfx.com and just go to coaching. Reach out to us. Before you guys do anything with the coaching, I'll do a one-on-one call with you to see if coaching is the right thing. For most of the time, if your challenge is education, not implementation, then I'll just recommend you one of the courses or the masterclass, because then you can just go in here, learn what you need to, refine it, and then you have the personality to make it work. For a lot of other folks, especially if you've been trading for a long time, we all have habits that need to get unwound. And sometimes if you can't identify what the habit is or the specific thing that's holding you back, you'll keep fixing the wrong thing and you'll stay on the hamster wheel. So get off the hamster wheel, come get some guidance, and I promise you we'll get you taken care of. Oh yeah, so your strategy, let me just finish this off for the folks that asked about the pairs versus indices. Everyone thinks that if you start off learning in currencies and then eventually you get very, very skilled, then you'll move to indices. That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. That's like saying I'm going to get really, really good at baseball because once I do that, I'm going to go play football. Well, if you want to get good at football, why don't you just practice football the whole time and just get better and better? You're going to suck at both at first. And if you're going to suck for a while and you're going to figure it out, you might as well do it in the field or in the instrument, on the instrument that you're going to be trading. So everyone's like, well, I'm going to start off with Euro USD and then I'll start trading US30. It's like, well, why don't you just start trading US30 and then the 3 to 6 months you would have wasted trading Euro, you'll have figured out the strategy, refined your system, and figured out everything you need to about US30. So that's my take between both. Figure out which one you want to trade and which one you want to trade is going to be based off your personality, your risk tolerance, and your schedule, your availability. A lot of people want to trade indices, but they work at the market open. They work during New York. So what are you going to do? Right? You got to find something that fits all three of those: risk tolerance, personality, and schedule. Yo, drop a like, man. Drop a like. I know y'all have learned a thing or two on the stream. Let's not sit here and pretend like y'all didn't learn something on the stream. If you learned even a thing, one thing, just drop a like. Takes about 2 seconds, and it's a sense of appreciation on both sides. All right. You guys see the decision not to enter here? The discretion not to enter, right, is discretion. If you want to follow the rules say trade in the direction of the trend. So I wouldn't have shorted it anyways. I was about to counter trend trade just like we did yesterday, but I decided against it. Something in my gut told me, you've already hit all the metrics. You've already started the bullish momentum. Even if this does reject down, it's still bullish. So why not wait for the bullish move? That little bit of discretion, that gut instinct through experience. And also, thankfully, MetaQuotes was frozen. So, Roy, talk about crypto. Do you see the bull run being sustained? This one? No. But we will have a massive bull run next year. We're going to see a massive dip around the halving of Bitcoin. And then we'll see a massive recovery. Bryce said that US30 trade was a banger. I'm assuming you guys are talking about the buys on U30. Yep. Love to see it. Quadruple bottom. Quintuple bottom. Yeah, it doesn't really get more clear than this. Okay, we have support, resistance, discount, premium. And yeah, this is looking really good. Fib this thing from top to bottom. We just hit that TP1 at the 61. 34,170. I would look to be taking profits here at 31, 34, 170. Everything after that, just leave a runner for extra credit. Man, I'm over here beating myself up for not taking this. Like it fit all the rules, but it just did not clear the low. And I was just waiting for that liquidity grab, which is fine because I'd much rather miss a trade than chase a trade for all of my NAS masterclass folks. Thanks for the reminder. I'd be forgetting to like. I'd be in the zone listening. Hey, I appreciate you for getting back in there and getting it done, Autobahn. Been taking the sells and longs with your strategy. Lessman, I love to see it. Discipline, the trend is your friend. Yo, tomorrow is a holiday for USA. What's tomorrow's holiday? What is this? Is it? Oh, it's Veterans Day. Oh shit! 4-day week or 3-day weekend. Okay. All right. So tomorrow's Veterans Day. We'll probably still have market action. I'll be honest. Helps a lot seeing you implement it. Love to see it. Yeah, all of you that did the master class have an advantage because while everybody else is going to follow along, like, yeah, if somebody knows what they're doing and they're talking through something, it's especially if it's somebody like me where I find a way to break things down simply, you're going to be able to follow along while we're on the call. The folks that did the class, you'll be able to do this off the calls. You'll be able to understand exactly why I'm doing certain things, and you'll have the back end reasoning so you can keep recreating the success. So that's the advantage of having the knowledge is like, if somebody here doesn't know what I'm doing and they're following along, they're going to become dependent on me on these streams. I don't want you to become dependent on me on these streams. I want you guys to be like, well, Roy is an absolute GOAT. So regardless, he's crushing it on these streams. I'm going to show up. But I want you guys to be able to do it yourself, not to become dependent on me. He said, shout out to all the vets. Amen to that. Shout out to all the vets giving us the ability to be on here talking mad shit, just hanging out. Because without them, maybe I'd have to be on the front lines. A great looking man like myself and as good of a shape as I am, I'm a fighting age male, people. So shout out to the veterans, shout out to everybody who fought for our chance to be out here wilding, making money off the screens. Has Roy been killing the game, dropping great value? Yes, but you'll still have the 5-pip traders have thousands of people on their streams. And little old me, I got the squad. I got my core team here. All right, so just to show you that nobody really wants value. All right, granted, guys, maybe I'm not the most entertaining and maybe I'm not the easiest to listen to. But at the end of the day, if you're genuinely curious about learning about the world and learning about trading and psychology and all these things, you'll learn an unbelievable amount on these streams. But then you'll see the difference between someone, like if I had a supercar behind me and I posted the stream, or if I put a supercar in the thumbnail of the stream, I can almost guarantee you guys we'd have way more people on here. But I'm here to show, and I'm really gonna do this to the death. I'm here to show that can somebody actually just come out and trade and provide value and become a big name in the Forex space? Because I honestly, I do not believe it's possible. Everybody says that they see through the charade and all this stuff, but people will still click on a link from someone with a supercar who's a demo trader versus somebody who's genuinely providing value. All my close friends that I hang out with, they don't have the same numbers as some of the folks that are a little bit more shady. And so I'm here to do this social experiment to see, can I come out here, talk about trading, show you my trades alive, literally give away the strategy in the trades alive, walk through fundamentals, explain what's happening in the back end, talk about trading psychology, talk about life success. Like, how do we host the largest conference in the world as a trade? Like, there's a million things that I can talk about on here to provide genuine value. I'll see if just doing this, being an honest person, and just sticking to my job is enough to grow big in this space. And I'll be honest, I feel like I'm going to be doing this for a year and not be as big as the scammers. That's just, I think, a horrible reality of the situation we're in. You trade on a funded account, you market fake traders, and you aren't consistent. Trade on a real account with real money and then talk. Uninteresting is the name of this person's account and is very accurate to what you just said. So I trade funded. That is true. I market fake traders. That's not true. Have I marketed fake traders? Potentially, yes. Did I know they were fake traders when I got them on the platform? No. At no point did I know that somebody was illegitimate and then supported them. If I see somebody and they send me a verified track record, this is before I knew that you could fake the verified track records. But if I ask somebody to verify their trades and they send it to me, and I see them trading, I see them trading their groups, people have given me good results, I have to assume that they're telling the truth. Now I know that if you're giving me a broker that somebody else owns or someone in your purview owns, maybe it's not accurate. But to say I'm marketing fake traders is extremely dishonest. And I'm not consistent. Now that's just plain out not true. That's just honestly false. So thank you for your feedback. I hope you enjoyed the stream, and goodbye. Dumb motherfucker. People. Who's the fake traders? We ain't doing that today. Which broker are you? And because I'm going to let you guys figure it out. I'm going to be out here for 2 hours talking about the ins, outs, back ends of trading. And then you all will have the chance to go out and listen to other people. And if you cannot make the distinction for yourself and see it bright as day, I do not want to help you. There's nothing I can do at this point. So I'm not going to be calling people out because, again, there's the burden of proof. Just because I have this inclination that someone is definitely a fake trader, if I don't have proof that they're entering fake trades, I can't be out here making wild accusations because then I'm going to look stupid. So there's nobody that I've genuinely seen proof. But if someone's trading on a broker that they own or a broker they have an affiliation with, that should tell you a lot. I have no affiliation with FTMO. There's no link in the bio for FTMO. There's none of that. When I promote them, it's because I use the platform. And you guys know I'm friends with everyone in the industry. I could get very favorable deals to push any platform, and I purposely chose not to because of the reputational risk and because of, where my morality stands. Milk the props and use your real money for other investments. There we go, Walter. People are acting like this is fucking rocket science. Look, no, you have to trade your own money. Dude, are you fucking retarded? Why would you put $10,000 in an account when you can put $200 on a prop firm and use their money? I don't care if it's fake money. None of that fucking matters. No one's asking you to withdraw the $200K in fake money. If the faucet is on and they are paying out, that's all that matters. You're like, oh, but you don't have a live account. Dude, I don't want a live account at this point. Why the fuck would I want a live account? Tell me. Give me one good reason that I would prefer to trade my own money on an unregulated broker on a live account versus trading on a prop firm. Like, people just love to hear themselves talk, I think. I've been with Capital Hungry for 2 years, and the guy's legit. The guy can suck a cactus dick for all I care. Or unregulated, if there's a trusted one you've had a good experience with. None of them. Right now, all the brokers are going under fire. They're getting kicked off of meta quotes. There will be massive changes in the Forex space, and all the brokers will start to really take B-booking to the next level. We're about to start seeing the shadiest evolution in the Forex space. I'm using FTMO because they run a professional service. Are they 100% above board? We're playing in a gray area. There is no illegal or legal here just generally about the prop firms, but there are specifics. If you tell people that they're getting real money and real funding, it's illegal. If you're registered overseas and you're using an offshore broker and you're servicing US clients, that's illegal. And so most of these firms are going to have to either change their whole operation or they're going to go under fire. And so trusted or not trusted, Oanda, TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim, Forex.com. That's where I would recommend. Bro, the problem is no one calls anyone out. How will the public know? Bro, I just told you guys what to look for in a legitimate trader and someone who knows what they're doing versus someone who is marketing. Now, if you see somebody marketing and you continue to fall for it, what the fuck do you want me to do? The only reason that people want the specific names is to create the drama and controversy. But you get to just go about your day after. And whoever is doing the controversy now has to clean up the mess and provide the burden of proof. And that's just not, that's just not the game. I want you guys to just be informed and just wake up for a second. And if you know what to look for, which is if you're on this trading stream, and I've covered everything from psychology to scaling trades to hedging to the model to day trading NASDAQ. I've covered so many topics. Go on one of these traders' IG live and ask them a fucking question and watch them stumble through it. And now if you watch them stumble through it and realize they don't know what they're doing and they're marketing these supercar, all this bullshit, and you continue to fall for it, that's on you. It's 100% on you. You deserve to lose the money at that point. It's just that is the way it is. Be like, no, Roy, you can't say you deserve to lose money. It's like the guy went out and touched the stove. Like, how is he not going to get burned? What are you guys talking about? Be like, no, man, you have to be nice to people. Like, is he an adult or a child? Like, that's an adult over there. Okay, so he touched the stove, even though we've been talking about if you see the red thing and it's really hot, you don't want to put your hand there. Who is the responsibility supposed to be on? The only reason that the scammers continue to have the legitimacy in the business that they do is because people keep supporting them. The second that people stop supporting it and start to go to the real traders, everything shifts. And so my frustration has been that we have tried our very best. I've missed out on millions of dollars because I could have just opened a fucking broker. I could have opened a prop firm and taken advantage of all the losers who are arguing in my fucking DMs. But instead, I chose not to take advantage of losers, but to help the winners and to help improve the amount of people that are winning. That has not done any favors for us as a business. I hope you guys understand this. We have consistently lost to people who are scamming, marketing, et cetera, et cetera. And so the burden of decision-making and prioritization is on the audience. So look through the bullshit and to not support the fake, and eventually the real will rise. It's that simple. Never go with unregulated brokers, I repeat. What trading concepts do you use? Is it supply and demand? How will the public know? Like the motherfucking stream, it's whatever at this point. The new thing is people repping regulated brokers in random countries. Yeah. The thing is, even if it's regulated in another country, they probably are regulated. But does that mean that they can service foreign clients? That's the whole shtick. All right. And that's the thing is, like, they could be regulated and they could have audits and everything. But if the auditors find out that they're servicing clients outside of their jurisdiction, they're going to get shut down just like a scam broker. And your money is gone all the same. There's zero difference there. So, yeah, even if they have an auditing team, even if they are registered in a jurisdiction that has oversight, if you're offering brokerage services to U.S. clients, you have to be specifically registered in the United States. And if you're not, you're breaking the law, and it just is what it is. You are in control of the withdrawals, and you trade the capital how you want with live accounts. Trade the capital how you want. So I guess you're talking about over leveraging. Because if you're risking more than 10% on the account, or more than 5%, excuse me, per day, which is the maximum daily loss. If you're doing that, then chances are you're gonna blow the account. I don't care how skilled you are. You're only one trade away from slipping and falling all the way back down the mountain. Risking 5% in a day. Like, the thing I like about prop firms is they force people to understand what real trading is like. If you go trade someone else's capital eventually, which is the goal, everyone's like, no, I'm going to grow my $1,000 account to $1 million. You fucking dumb. You can grow it 100%. You can grow it. Grow it from 1,000 to 100,000. Do that. But then at some point, your job is to go out and get as much capital as possible. And then your job is to use the same strategy, but with way more capital. So the prop firms force you to have these rules, and they force you to abide by the rules that eventually are going to make you successful. Don't over risk. Don't overtrade. These rules exist for a reason. Message retracted. Why are y'all deleting messages, man? Trading requires healthy thinking and being a management person. Nothing is easy about money. When you trade without paying attention to the rules, you are just a gambler. Yes. Dubai 2024. Yes. Can you explain the payout process of FTMO? Yes. So there's a payout, there's a split that you're awarded depending on your performance at the firm. It's either 80 or 90%. You calculate the profit split out of your overall profit. So if you made $5,000, you're going to walk away with about $3,300. And then you will send them an invoice, essentially. You'll request an invoice for the post-split amount. There's an approval process which has gotten a lot faster over the years because it used to be slow as fuck. And then it's either you get to choose the way that you want your deposit. You do direct deposit, and then it gets sent. The thing about the brokerages is I tried to pull money out of these regulated brokers or another one, and they just require so much KYC. They're requiring me to send pictures of my face and my name with a piece of paper. So they're all going to require a very like annoying withdrawal process. At least with the prop firms, you can either elect for biweekly or monthly payouts. And so there's a consistent schedule there. But now you have to game the rules. So for me, if I make money on a personal account, like this individual said, I can just pull it out today. That is true. But that's also something, maybe that's not the best thing for me to do right now, because I know that my payout date is next week. Then I won't take any more trades that are going to potentially lose the profits I've already made. I've kind of been able to game the rules of the system to benefit me, and be able to, like, just be able to plan my trading around those withdrawals. Like if you know that you're about to get paid out in a week and your only job is to not fuck it up, that's a different strategy than just, trading the system and finding the next trade, et cetera, et cetera. So the rules around these things need to be gamed. You can't just be like, okay, well, my payout date is next week. Let's see how many trades I can squeeze. It's like, no, I have $3,400 in guaranteed profits, post-profit split that are sitting there. If I take another trade, I could potentially risk those profits. If I wait until my payout date, I'll 100% walk away with these. So now you make a decision off of securing the money versus just taking the next trade. So I genuinely believe these rules are helpful. Rejection off NAS right now, yes. I think NAS100 will go to 15,491. We don't predict, we respond. If you really think about it, Roy, is smart by milking FTMO. You don't even have to really think about it. If you just 1 second of realization, if you asked a real estate investor, would you prefer to put your own money on the line or to use OPM, which is other people's money? 100% of the time, they're going to say other people's money. Because if I could buy a house and not have to pay anything out of my own pocket, if I could buy $1 million property and not have to put a single dime out of my pocket, and then every month this property is cash flowing $30,000, $40,000, and I'm getting some of this cash flow, even if I'm splitting the profits with everybody, I'm making 10 grand a month. The $1 million property is there, and I spent zero money out of my own pocket. How? Because you needed a down payment to get financing. You go to investors, they give you a couple $100,000 for the down payment. You're using their money. You have the house, right? You have the contract, but they have the money for the down payment, and the bank is gonna give you the rest. So you have no money in the game. You found a great deal and put a contract down, and now you're able to be the middleman for this play. You're involved in $1 million property, making tens of thousands a month with zero money out of your own pocket. Like, no, you have to have a personal account. If you did that, your $10,000 that's sitting in your pocket can only afford you maybe a $100,000 house with a 10% down payment. No, not $1 million house. Kick that shit out of the fucking picture. $100,000 house. I don't even want to live in a $100,000 house, let alone buy one to flip. You guys see where I'm getting at? The concept of using and leveraging other people's capital is the very basis of most investment activities. You need to take advantage of the prop firms and get more capital, dummy. Whoa. I can roast people. Results speak for themselves. Yep. Oh, wait, I'm on the wrong side. Question: can FTMO deny you a payout after you passed phase 1 and 2 plus funded account because of the multiple challenges failed in the past? Oh, fuck no. You're not going to deny it based on multiple challenges failed, but I use the swing trading account because it allows me to trade in between sessions, and it allows me to trade during news events. A lot of prop firms have these really specific rules that if you violate them, they'll deny you a payout. This is how they scheme the system. They're like, okay, most people are not going to make money, so our business model works. Oh shit, the few guys that are making money, are there any rules that we can point to deny them a payout? And they will. And so trading during high-risk news events is a big one. If you take the same trade, the same exact entry, if I took it on multiple FTMO accounts with the same exact entry and the same parameters, they will deny me a payout, or they might take the account under the guise of copy trading. They have these specific rules for a reason, y'all. They do not want you to get paid. So make sure that you learn the landscape before you're taking trades, and just avoid the things that could deny you a payout. All right. They'll say you traded news. They'll say that you hedged. They'll say that you entered too many positions. And FTMO has, I think, with the swing trading account, the best rules. I've only been denied a payout one time. And I wasn't even denied it. They were just asking for a lot of extra info. And then even when they approved the payout, they were still trying to get me to spend the money back on the next challenge. I was like, bro, leave me the fuck alone. Give me my money. They're like, are you sure you don't want to put it towards the next 200K challenge? Yes, I'm 100% sure. Can you briefly explain how the FTMO challenge works and any tips that you recommend? Y'all, I'll be honest, I've been streaming for about 2 hours now. It's time for me to go. There's no trades here. And so I'm kind of just wasting a bit of time spending time on the charts. And I have a lot of meetings today I have to tend to. So I will be hopping off. But I'll catch you guys on tomorrow's stream. Jump on the masterclass. The link is in the description for the December NAS100 masterclass to learn this strategy for yourself. Ticket prices are going up next week. So do not wait for next week and then ask us for discounts and stuff. You now know the information's all out here in front of you. I will catch you guys on tomorrow morning stream to answer all questions. It's Veterans Day. We'll do a happy Veterans Day stream and then give a quick shout out to the troops. Okay. I'm not in this trade. I have 0 positions open today, just as a reminder. I have 0 positions open, and very likely, unless we come back down to 263, I will not take any trades. All right.